I want to start today by simply saying thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being a part of this journey with me. This space exists because we are all seeking something just a little deeper. If you haven't already, please take a second to subscribe to this channel and this space and join our community. Your support means everything, and it helps us continue to spread this message of conscious wisdom and growth. I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful for your heart, and I'm honored to have you here today. Let's get into it. Slow down. This is the word that has been hovering over me all week. And I've had to ask myself some very quiet questions. Where am I rushing to? What is the race I've been running? And what does winning even look like? And then I realized I was caught in the constant noise of more, mistaking speed for direction and chasing a finish line that doesn't actually exist. But there's a deep space that comes when you finally realize that you only have so much capacity. There are only so many hours in a day. We can't force them. We cannot bend them. And if we want to truly hold what matters, we have to let go of what doesn't. We have to understand that life, success, and happiness are not things that we can hunt down or hurry into existence. They are the harvest. They are what grows when you have finally prepared the soil of your soul to receive them. So the question is, are you ready to stop running and start being? Are you ready to look at what is right in front of you? The challenge of now, and trust that it is enough. I'm Cory J. Riggs. Welcome to This Tree and Me. It's Blessed and Grateful Wednesday. The title of today's message is The Speed of Stillness. Today we are talking about the beauty of the non-negotiable. We are mapping out how to honor our capacity, cherish our health, and allow our lives to unfold with a grace that cannot be rushed. So let's get into it. So, what I've been dealing with, and it started a while back, if you remember, we kind of went over this in a few other episodes in season 1 and a little bit of the start of season 2, but I was evaluating my podcast, right? I always watch back, but for whatever reason, this was different this time. And I was watching with the question of why would I watch? If that wasn't me on that screen, why would I watch? What am I bringing? What's the message like? So I was really critiquing. I was trying to take myself out of me and being the observer, right? If you've meditated or done any kind of spiritual work, you've always heard of being the observer. So I was trying to be the observer, and it came to me like, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing the work. I'm doing the work, but I'm not doing the work. And so I'm evaluating it, and I just get this lingering feeling that I'm not getting enough done, right? And I'm having ambitions, but I'm not getting to them. And the resolution myth, the myth of resolution is crazy, because for me, there's no more New Year's resolution. I've talked about that. I think it's a bad way to lie to yourself. It's a bad starter to the year. If you're going into it and you're reflecting and you're doing all this and you look back and you want to change things just to find yourself in a week, 2 weeks, a month. And I forget, I saw the stats, but only 9% of people who actually make New Year's resolutions stick to them for the entire year. 9%. And that's not even evaluating the success of them. That's just saying that they stuck with them, which is phenomenal. But the numbers of people that quit within the first month was just ridiculous. So why would you set yourself up to fail right off the beginning of the year? So the first thing I said is I can reflect anytime. It's not a bad time of year to reflect. It's kind of the norm, right? And it's kind of when people will accept, if you will, that you make a change, right? If you make a change, I'll use music like I did in the middle of the year. Everyone's kind of like, what the hell? If I would have waited and started the podcast and done all the spiritual work that I started doing in January, everyone would have just marked it down to New Year's resolution, and whether I finished it or not wouldn't have mattered. It would have been okay. It's acceptable. It's a norm, if you will. So that's kind of also the trap of it. So to stay out of that, I just needed to break promises or find a way to stop breaking promises to myself. And New Year's resolution is one of them. There's many other ways and forms of doing this. And we've talked about it before, starting small, doing all those things, right? But you've got to start keeping promises to yourself. It's very important. So the shift is making the promises that we can keep. And so the message just kept coming to me, and I kept writing about it every morning. And the one thing that I recognized is I'm going too fast. I'm trying to do too much. Not only do I want to become more spiritual, more emotionally well, more spiritually well, more financially well, physically, all of it. I want to be a podcaster. I want to be a storyteller. I want to write. I want to be a coach, right? A wellness life coach. How can I do all that? So as I was saying in the opening, there's only so many hours in the day. And I had to bring it down to a place that I could have success. Like I've talked about in the past about just making your bed every morning. You have one little win. It may be tiny, but it's a win, and it builds. So I had to put pen to paper to it. And that's just kind of the way my brain works. I've always felt more comfortable with it. Like I can stay very structured and very organized and kind of on task if I put pen to paper to it. And it's almost to the point to where it's a scripted day. Like I put pen to paper to each individual day. And it's very scripted almost to what I'm doing every day. And the first thing that I had to write out were non-negotiables. So what are my non-negotiables? And I pretty much just labeled them out. My spiritual wellness and emotional wellness, my financial wellness, my physical fitness wellness, non-negotiables. Those are top of the list. They were not going to be taken out. I'm going to do those every single day of my life. Non-negotiables. So then I had to write down where I have come from. Where am I sitting right now? Right? What do I do on a daily basis from, wake up to bed? And what does each segment identify or show that I'm working on? And then after I wrote those, then I had to write the goals. What do I want to become? So I've already got the non-negotiables. That's done. So the spiritual, emotional, financial, just the overall wellness, right? The wellness coach, the wellness of my entire life, the holistic wellness, non-negotiable. It's already in there. All right. So then it comes down to making a podcast. being a storyteller on stage in public with people, being a wellness coach, helping others, guiding others in a one-on-one client style basis, and a writer, right? Not just my journaling, not just my everyday writing, but just true writing to get published. That's a lot. And the one thing that I recognized in doing all of this was that how can I do more? My day's already full. I just jotted it down. I already wake up at 5 a.m. I go to bed roughly at 9:30. Pretty wiped out by then. Some nights a little later, but I get up at 5 a.m. So I've already started extremely early. Could I start earlier? Sure. But then my night's just going to get earlier. So the amount of time in the day is really good. And I'm also getting my 7 to 8 hours of solid rest. So I'm good. My morning's filled with all my meditations, my prayer work, my spiritual work, my journaling. So that's non-negotiable. That time until I get up and get ready to go throughout the day is taken. It's non-negotiable. So in order to fit things in your life, you can't just add, right? And that's where the New Year's resolution kind of comes in. We add all these things. I want to be this. I want to be this. I want to do this. I want to accomplish this. When do we ever say, okay, if I'm going to do all these things, I have to lose this, this, and this? We don't get more than 24 hours in a day. And none of us can survive on any kind of consistent manner or sustainable manner that takes 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep. Rest is very important. So we list all these things we want to do, but we don't want to give anything up, or at least we don't mention, anything that we want to give up. That's not sustainable. That is just setting yourself up for failure. It's a myth to think you can add without subtracting. And you've heard me speak about it before, that it's a lot easier to get rid of the things you don't want in your life than it is to say, I want to get that, and go get it. Because how do I get that? The how to removing stuff is fairly simple. I don't like my job. I'm going to get a new job. I just go look for one and I find one. May not be the one I want, but you find one. Same with relationships. Same with friendship. Same with pick something. Then that creates space for you for other things. So on the other side of that is, let's just say it's a relationship. Well, don't lose one just to go get another one that's just as crappy as the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that. Maybe work on yourself a little bit before you get into the next one. But that doesn't mean stay in the one that you're in. Just a personal statement of my life that I've lived and I've done. So consider that a free piece of advice of very hard lessons learned. But admitting how these big promises actually work against us, it's fundamental in this. So the shift, making the promises we can keep, choosing integrity over the New Year's noise, right? And then you got a foundation to it. The overall theme of why I was getting to where I was. Setting the grounds for the hard realizations to follow. And the reality of it all was, okay, I can understand that. Then I recognize I'm going too fast. I'm trying to do way too much, and I'm not giving up anything. I'm not willing to give it up. I don't want to give up any one of those goals. But I'm not excelling at any of them. I am making progress. I'm doing the work, but I'm really not getting where I want to be. So then what happens? Then you start getting frustrated, right? You start looking at yourself and doubting yourself and thinking that, okay, I can't do this, or, this is too much, whatever your head tells you. And it's not that. It's just, you can't make more time. You only have the capacity within you to do so much. So you got to choose. You got to write down your non-negotiables. You got to write down what you do in a day. And then you look at that day and say, okay, what of this matches my non-negotiables? And then you write your goals. Okay, what part of this matches my goals? Also, what goals are more important? What do I want to set my hat on as far as a goal is concerned? Doesn't mean I don't want to achieve all of them, right? You can get to all your goals. It just may not be in 1 month, 1 year, 5 years. It might take a minute. But if you succeed at one, making your bed. I'm going to always go to that because it's the weirdest thing to me, because it's really helped me a lot. It's going to help you achieve that next goal because you're going to get competence in yourself. You're going to get competence in the belief that you can do things. You're going to get the confidence that I can do hard things. You're going to understand and see that, okay, that's hard, but I just did that and that. That was hard. And I can do those things, so I can do this. Which then builds what? Confidence. And once you get confidence, fear, it's still there. It doesn't go anywhere. But now you got confidence and you got a lot of courage built up behind you. So you've got to mark down, what do I want to do? And your way of doing it can be your way, right? I'm a pen to paper guy. However you figure these things out. It also doesn't mean that in the middle of all this, things don't change. Things don't adapt. Sure they do. I have rearranged my days in the last year. I couldn't honestly tell you the number of times of how I started the day, where I went from there, how I finished, where I'm at, where I worked out, where I did my reading, where I did my meditating. It's changed so much. Well, one, for most of us, we have a job that we have to do. We have to pay our bills. So that has to be, that's typically a solid block of time, right? You can't get out of those things. Again, capacity. It's not just you. And don't think of this as a negative, like you can't do more. Oh my gosh, I'm failing. I can't do more than what I'm doing now. The difference in capacity and doing more is this. I don't have the capacity to keep up with 10 things. I was doing 5. I added 5. I don't have the capacity to do that. I can't do that much more. But if I change out 5, if I change out 1 for 1 and I stay at 5, can I do more with that one thing? Or can I do more with all 5 of those things? Absolutely. That's a whole different conversation. That's just now looking inside and saying, okay, I have the willpower. I have the want. I'm not going to let fear stop me. Discipline, courage. That's all those things wrapped in one. But that's the work. So don't confuse with I can't do more and capacity. Again, most of us have to work. We have to make a living. We all have to sleep. That's non-negotiable. Sleep's part of your mental, emotional, spiritual. It's part of all of your wellness, physical fitness, all of it. You have to sleep. Right? There's people that, I can get by on 5 hours. Can you? And I know there's people out there arguing with me right now about it. Can you? I challenge you this. Sleep for 7 minimum, 7 to 8 hours a day for 30 days. Tell me you don't feel better. Tell me you don't have more energy. Tell me you don't have more time on your hands to do the things because you're a lot more mentally focused. Your mind's ready. Your mind's sharper. It's got a full rest. Your body feels better. You don't get sluggish at any time of the day that you need an energy drink or an extra coffee or anything like that. It's real. Sleep is real. Yes. Could we survive in 5 hours? Yeah. But are we at our best? No. We're just not. We're not built that way. So doing the work is the capacity side of it. And like I said, we only have so many hours. And with that, we only have so much hours of good, solid, focused energy physically and mentally based on our habits. If we're not working out every day, if we're not sweating, right? And you don't have to go to the gym. Take your dog for a 3-mile walk. Go walk with friends if you don't have a dog for 3 miles. Go do something. Just go outside and get some sunlight and get some fresh air and move. That will start increasing. But the more you do that, your body starts waking up a little bit more. Combine that with sleep. You don't need the energy drinks. You don't need all the coffee throughout the day. You don't need caffeine. It's simple. It's hard to follow, but it's simple. It really is. So the result of all this was I got my day all mapped out. I got Monday through Friday. Saturday's a little bit open. I'll figure out some things with that. I do know one thing on Saturdays. That's when I clean my house. I typically do it every other week, so twice a month, right? Do all the laundry, all that stuff on the weekend. I sometimes go out of town. I go visit my family. Different things on a Saturday. Sunday is when I put out my season 2 episodes of This Tree in Me. So Sundays kind of already got a rhythm to it, right? But also Sunday is my pure day of rest. Outside of the podcast, which I know sounds funny to say that's rest because it's not. It can be very stressful, especially if I'm a little bit behind on content or putting it together and all that kind of stuff. But I mapped out the day. And the structure was so tight, it's scripted. And if you recall, this season is about the industrial arc, humanity versus AI, leading with humanity. I build all this in AI. I talk to it, say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is my days. These are my hours. And it builds the freaking table for me. If I don't like it, okay, adjust this, add this, make sure we know this. This is when I drink my protein shake, or this is when I take my supplements, whatever it is. You know how much of a time saver that is, y'all? So I'm just giving you examples of I'm not against technology and I'm not against AI at all. It helps me every day. What took me, I did the mapping out of my day this morning. What took me probably 30 minutes with AI would have taken me hours to handwrite because of the changes that I made and the scribbles, and it would have taken me forever and it would have been ugly. And after 30 minutes, it had a table of every day of everything that I did blocked in by hours with alternatives that I do sometimes. Boom, print it out. There it is. I can look at it every single day. Tells me when I eat, what I eat, all that. Yes, I'm that scripted. And right now, there's a lot of reason why I'm that scripted. I have goals. And some of my non-negotiables are what? Physical fitness. And yes, I've done very well at it, and I continue to do great at it. I do. I'm so proud of myself because I'm actually sticking with it. I'm doing it properly, listening to my body, finding what works. I went up and down a little bit. I'm on the back down. I've got it very tightened up. I've got my trainer, nutritionist. I've got everybody involved in this so that I know what my body likes, does not like, how it works, what time of day it works. I've taken a lot of time, but what saved me a lot is using AI to help me with all that. It's really has. So from that structure, I transitioned like almost instantly from the illusion of progress that we've talked about to a scripted map, a true scripted map of how I'm going to live day to day. Are there going to be adjustments? Yes. Are my buddies going to call and say, hey, let's go have coffee? Yes. Are we going to go at night sometimes to go have, a cocktail maybe, or just meet up and what have you? I like a cigar and a tequila. That's okay. It's going to happen. You get right back on form. You just go right back into it on your next step. Whatever that breaks out, you start over, whether it's the next day or that day. Things happen. Life happens. Work's going to call sometimes and be like, hey, dude, we got an emergency here. You need to go take care of this. Got it. I'm all over it. And work has to take precedence, almost all of it, because, again, I have to pay bills. So there's leniency. It's not that rigid, but it is at the same time. And I know you understand what I'm getting at with all that. I know you completely understand it. It's just, I want to make it clear enough to say it sounds like a lot, and it can be. But once you fall into it, and your body and your mind and your work and your production and your goals start having light within them, holy hell. I mean, holy hell. It is a complete different life. And it feels good. And I was talking to the one lady at the gym today that does the yogas and my HIIT training. And she's very into spirituality and all this. So her and I talk a lot. We share writings and stuff. She's really cool. And she's like, so what are you doing now? Because she noticed. And I said, well, here's what I've done. I started about a week ago. Here's what I did today. And she was just like, yeah, I can already tell the difference in you. It doesn't take long. And so I looked at her and said, absolutely. You know what else? I can tell the difference in me. And you know what else? When you start feeling this way and you start seeing things this way, who gives a rat's behind of what anybody thinks? Who cares? All you got to care about is, are you being a good human being? Are you being kind and generous and loving? Are you doing the best you can at all those things? Are you doing the best for you, or are you trying to appease others? So I told her, I said, yeah, and I feel it too. So why would I ever want to live any other way? It's really that simple for me right now. Doesn't mean I'm not going to falter. Doesn't mean the fear and the ego and nonsense isn't going to get me. It doesn't mean I'm not going to wake up one day and just be a complete crap to be around. I'm human, and that's life. But like I said, you go through your steps, you do the work that may not be fun, but you know it's good for you. And you do it the best you can, and sometimes your best is 40%. Because your mind won't leave you alone, or your body aches, or you just don't feel like it for whatever reason. But that doesn't mean every moment's going to be that. And you start tilting that teeter-totter. You start tilting that to the good over the bad. And it's one of the most beautiful things that you'll ever have in your life. It's the daily work. It's doing the work when nobody's watching. It's doing the work when it's just you by yourself. And again, the things that you don't want to do sometimes, but you know it's good for you. It's the piece of the map for me. The piece of that map that I can look at and say, okay, I know if I do these things regularly, I will feel good about myself, and my days will go well, and my goals will start achieving. It's living out the keepable promises. It's finding the blessings in the structure of it. It's not the speed of it. And it's honoring those non-negotiables in the mundane hours. And that's the hard one sometimes, right? Every now and then I want to have a snack of some sort, right? And in my diet that I eat, even the snacks that I have, pork rinds, super salty. They do certain things for me. Putting honey in my coffee, something like that, spikes insulin. I know that sounds little and crazy, having a whiskey. But you know what? It's okay sometimes. It's okay. But don't get in the habit. Be disciplined, right? You have to honor your non-negotiables, but you also have to give yourself grace. And I know that's a hard balance. And I know that's something that's very hard to measure. You have to measure it for yourself. That's what you find within you. I know what works for me. I don't keep any whiskey around the house. If I had that, I go out with a friend, and that's not very rare. That's not very often because I'm busy. They're busy. There's other things, right? I don't keep snacks around the house. If I get a snack of some sort, I have to go to the store. And that's very inconveniencing sometimes because I'm busy doing work or what have you. So there's little tricks for that work for me. You got to find the tricks that work for you. But I want to challenge you to ask yourself these questions. Where are you rushing to? And what does winning even look like? What? Do you know what winning looks like? So ask yourself, really be honest with yourself and sit in that question. What is one promise that you can actually keep today? Right now, today. Find one thing that you can promise yourself that you will do and do it. One. And what are you willing to lose? This is a hard one. To become who you want to be. That's one of the harder ones. You have to be willing to lose it. You will not become by adding. You have to swap. You have to trade. You have to have a give and take. You have to meet in the middle. You have to compromise with yourself. You have to lose to gain. You have to lose to speed up. You have to slow down to get quicker. You have to just take all those measures to get to where you want to go. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I would love to hear your answers to these questions. You can find my email, right? You can, on the website, you can DM me and anything. It's all open. It's all public. So I would love to hear what you found that your results were. I'd love to have that discussion with you. I want to thank you for being here today. I hope that this message has made you think, made you reflect, and made you look a little deeper at the race you've been running. If this has resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, please, if you haven't already, take a second to subscribe. Subscribe to this channel because it helps keep this journey going. I'm Cory J. Riggs. I love you all. Be blessed.